That basically first step, first debut album, first time I produced my own music. It also is about that we are one and that everything is one and that we are part of this one big thing that, so we're not separate. So it's all of that.
Okay. You're talking about producing your own. Can you explain a little bit about this? Because I read you do your own sketches with beatboxing, and afterwards you fill it up with drums. So a little bit about that process. Do you play the drums then with hardware, or do you click them with a mouse?
Well, I started out just making some beats, rhyming to that, and I was like, nah. Then I started writing with my guitar player. Then I started writing some songs on the piano. And then I felt like, okay, I'm gonna just start out with beatbox and have vocals be the center of the album. And so I would just beatbox to it and then add drums to it and then have DJ PCM add a little percussion to it. And then I play some piano to it. Then later I have other pianist play the piano parts and then arrange it, and that's how I would just put layer upon layer.
Yeah. Because your lyrics are also very poetic. If you had to choose between doing only lyrics or only music, because I right now I heard like you also play the piano, and did you have a certain Ausbildung, education musically, or
no,
did you just?
No, I had piano lessons when I was a kid, and then after I never had piano lessons. And now I think I need to take piano lessons again because my knowledge is limited, but not limited enough for me not to make music. So I'll be able to put down some chords and then have a general idea of what I want things to sound like. But if I had to choose, I think I would choose poetry. I love music, but I make music so I can tell my stories. It's basically the context in which I tell my stories. That's why I love hip hop, because it brings poetry and musicality together. The one is a very cerebral art form, and the other one is more an emotional art form. So I like that you bring those two together.
Okay, you talking about like loving hip hop music, loving hip hop culture. Can you talk a little bit about your beginning career? Because I also read you have been part of battling other MCs. Is that true? And how did it start with you? Have you started with you just as an MC and a DJ, or how did it start? And
the thing is, I've started, the first group I was in was a band. So I started playing in a band very early. And after that, I did hip hop shows with just me and Mitch as a DJ. And then I did stuff with Perk, and that was just Perk, and then a saxophone player, myself. And then later we would add a upright bass player, and then even later we would add Mitch and a key player to it. And then we've performed with big bands and orchestras. We did that for a while. And then I did a new show, the Open Loops show, and that was Mitch, a percussion player who also played guitar and bass, and a key player and myself. And then I started this band. So I'm still trying to see what works best for me. And the thing is, the challenge the challenge of what my ambitions are is that I want to be as movable as possible, as mobile as possible, in the sense that I want to be able to do shows quickly, hop in a van, have a couple of people with me and do a show. But I also want musicality, and I want the acoustics to be a part of my shows, but I also want it to be banging. So there's all of these standards that I have, and I don't know which one one works best yet. So I'm still figuring that out. So I can't say what's next or what people could expect. But I always come with musicality in a show. Always. I never just have a couple of beats and that's never happened. I respect my audience too much for that.
Okay. But have you been part of just parties and grabbing a mic and doing sessions with other MCs or?
Well, only if it were American MCs that came through. I only battled American MCs. I didn't battle Dutch MCs because there's nobody in the Netherlands who can battle.
Okay.
It's just not, at least, and even in Dutch. Like I've battled in Dutch a couple of times, and I smacked everybody then too.
Okay.
Like when it comes to freestyle and battling, nobody can fuck with me. And I implore anybody to challenge me. So, but the thing is, battling and everything, I really come from a place of wanting to prove myself. That's also what attracted me to hip hop. Hip hop is very much about approval and proving, show and prove, show who you are and about, hollering that you're the best and all of this thing of making yourself bigger, and I love that about it because I think it all comes from the same insecurity that you get when you are a part of an underclass, when you're a part of the underdog, when you're a part of when you're not part of the status quo. So I'm very attracted to that. So that's why battling is part of my heritage. But at this point, I have so much credits at this point as to what I've done in my career that I think I need to let that go a little.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this also a little bit about the underclass outsider thing. You mentioned it on stage before, and does it have something to do with you? Your father, I guess, is from the Dominican Republic,
yeah.
And does it have something to do with that you could had a connection to black West American people and rap?
This is the thing, like my father's black and my mom's is white, and I've grown up very privileged. I've been to good schools and all of that. I've been very lucky. And but my father was always sure to remind me that that the game is rigged, that like the system is rigged, that there is this the system perpetuates an underclass and an elite and a middle class, and it perpetuates white supremacy, and it perpetuates this idea of not being white being lesser. And I never really had any problems until I moved to The Hague. And look, man, I am very light skinned and I have straight hair. My mom's is white, and I don't even really want to categorize myself as Dominican, Latino, black, white, Dutch, or whatever. I don't, because I'm too mixed for that. And I feel comfortable with both of those. But what I do feel connected to more than some white people is that idea of truly understanding what discrimination is and what that does to a psyche and how it's being enforced. And because I have the privilege of knowing both of these worlds, so that, because like in the Netherlands, I'm a Dutch guy as much as I am an immigrant. And when I move back to Aruba, when I do a show there or I see some family there, I'm as much an outsider there and a European. And so you're homeless to a certain degree. So that's why I talked about that in games. Like, you're outside of wherever you go, and then you realize when you're mixed that you can't really rely too much on other people's perception of what you are. Not just as an artist, but as a person. Because we're weird, man. We will say somebody's black or somebody's white, but in fact they might be Irish, Polish, or Russian, English, Dutch, Danish, or they might be Nigerian or Jamaican or Arubian or American or English. But that's the world we live in, and while the underclass, white and black, keep fighting, the elite, primarily white, they're just laughing. They profit.
Take the profit.
Yeah.
Okay, getting so political, I wanted to ask you. You also mentioned like the empire is falling, is going to fall, or how is the empire going to fall, or is it right now?
Well, it's in decline. Let's define empire first. I think there's this idea of that the Western society rules. I think there's an idea of white supremacy. I think there's an idea of hyper-capitalism. Those are the values of the 20th century and before that. And because of internet, and because the sheer amount of people sharing information now, it seems that we're tumbling into this new phase where information has almost become irrelevant. Because there's so much out there that we don't know what to make of anything. Whether it's left politics or right politics, whether it's conspiracy theory or whatever the news tells us. Which means that globally, I think people are starting to look inside and get more spiritual and change from within, and the values are changing. So when I'm talking about the empire's falling, is that our values are changing because it's so painfully apparent that these values and these thought process, this old thought process and ideas, that these are no longer valid or valuable. The way we produce food, the way we handle politics, the way, like if a Palestinian is a terrorist, but somebody out of Israel is just is military. Like all of these distinctions, we're starting to see through these lies. So I feel in that sense, we're like where the Roman Empire was after a while. People stopped fighting for Rome and people stopped holding on to those values, and then it was replaced by something new. Hi, I'm Pete Philly, and you're checking out independent hip-hop.de. What's it called?
Awesome.
Die nach unten gefallen sind, das sind die Männer ohne Haare.
Really dope shit. The band was killing. Nee, weißer Obershit. Vor allem, weil ich ja jetzt ein halbes Jahr drauf warten musste. Aber sehr gelungen, sehr cool.
Yo, so it's also okay. Perhaps you can say something about have you uploaded your music by yourself on your own YouTube account, or is it because one can listen to your whole album on YouTube? Is it with the label, and what is this certain kind of label politics perhaps? And the other question would be about your stage performance. Because is it, it's other like every other rapper that we know, you're like young Muhammad Ali over the beat, and how important is that for you, that the visual concept, like how you move, fits to the music? And
I try to, when it comes to performing, I try to just give everything I got, and sometimes I move silly, and sometimes I don't, and sometimes I'm very tight, and sometimes I just fuck around, but I need to truly feel the music and the audience, and I really want to be a reflection of that moment.
Das nächste Mal kommt Pete Philly, a real musician, a musiker.
And so every show will be different. The freestyle will be different. For example, tonight's freestyle wasn't a great freestyle. Last night's freestyle was fucking awesome. And that keeps it flowing for me. But it's not.
Nee, Top-Konzert. Anfangs war ich noch nicht so ganz dabei, aber irgendwann hat es mich einfach gecatcht. Mein Liveband schlägt alles. Nichts dran.
I can go as far as saying I think it's truly a privilege to be able to stand on stage, and I don't like squandering that privilege. So I think it's my duty, whether I'm playing for 2 people or 2,000 people, it's my duty to give everything I got, always.
Es war wirklich mit Abstand das allerbeste Konzert, das ich seit sicherlich 6 Jahren gesehen habe. Und ich glaube, es war die beste Atmosphäre und von seinem ganzen Auftritt her von Anfang an am kraftvollsten. Und ja, und die ganzen Musiker waren so jung. Es war wirklich irgendwie was inspirierend, weil endlich mal jemand Musik macht, der nicht nur so tut, als würde er Hip-Hop machen, sondern dazu noch Gefühl für Musik hat.
And I think in that regard, that combined with the fact that I want my shows to be musical and theatrical in a sense, that I think that's the difference between me and other MCs, where they just have these beats that really bag and then they just holler through the mic, and that really doesn't, that's not for me. I just want to tell a story with the dynamics of telling a story. So that's what's up with the live show.
Ja, es hat mir echt ziemlich gut gefallen. Sau gut. Ich weiß nicht, er interpretiert immer seine Sachen ganz neu. Jedes Mal. Also ich habe ihn zum ersten Mal gesehen. Ich habe 4-5 Jahre auf das Konzert gewartet. Und ich freue mich riesig, dass ich da war und dass ich das gesehen habe.
So that's what's up with the live show. And as far as the YouTube account, yeah, I run it and I put it all on there. I just want people to hear my shit. I want people to hear my shit, and I'm not, you know, I've been doing it so long for so little money. I'm used to it, man. I'm used to not making a lot of money, and I don't do it for the money. So I wish it would be bigger. I wish it was more relevant to more people. But then you need to get promo, PR, marketing, and all that shit. I hope that good music just finds people, but it's I guess it's kind of a challenge because there's so many people out there online just hollering, listen to my tape, and if you reside within that realm, you're just one of the million voices trying to holler about your shit. So in that sense, I think I should do some more PR, some more marketing. But yeah, man, people just need to hear my shit, man. They just need to listen to it. And I think people also need to like realize that you know, I don't have it like American artists. I work out of Amsterdam. It's a small fucking country. It's a white country that doesn't really give a fuck about hip hop. Let alone the kind of hip hop that I make, which is like English and it's like soul music. So if people really want me to continue, they just need to support it. So they either need to download it on iTunes or come to a show and buy the vinyl there, or go to hiphopvinyl.de, whatever they need to do. Just support it, because elsewhere there is going to be a point where I just have to quit and do something else. Also because I love doing other shit too. Like I did the design for this. I made the artwork for this album. I like doing graphic design. I'm an actor as well. I play in theaters. I got a lot other shit that I can do that makes more money, that's easier, that doesn't kill me as much as touring through Germany. So people need to fucking support my shit. But yeah. No, people need to just go to the YouTube. At least, you know, if you like my shit, sign up to the YouTube account, sign up to the Facebook. So promoters at least know that people fucking listening to my shit, you know? But I don't know, man, it's interesting times for artists. Hard times for artists, I think. But c'est la vie, man.
Okay. That's a good ending point. If you want to add something, you can.
Nah, man, it's just support my music if you want to, and yeah. Now I'm gonna drink my tea with honey and slow it all down so I can wreck the stage in Berlin tomorrow. When are you putting this on? Well,
cut it up a little bit.
It's independent hip hop. No, independent rap. Okay,
yes.
Cool, I'll check it out.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.